Now, if you want a really simple way of describing NLP, it is simply the study of excellence and how we replicate that. So it's all based on modeling. So all in all, it's been put together as a field completely based on modeling. And that is actually the genius of NLP. So it's a study about excellence and how to replicate it so that we can become excellent. So there's absolutely nothing new in NLP that came from NLP itself. As a body of knowledge, it's not actually a new thing. Yes, it's a reasonably new field, but NLP is actually put together from all sorts of things that come from other disciplines. So what is NLP really then? So NLP is actually an attitude, and it actually requires an attitude of curiosity. How does this thing that we call our minds, how does it actually work? So the attitude of the mind, which is the instrument that we use to make sense out of the world around us, and it's an attitude of curiosity. So why do I react this way? Why is it when my partner or my boss or my coworker or my child does this, I react like that? Why don't I, act differently to that? Why is it that there are some people that can start at the same get-go point, yet some of them can produce really excellent results and some of them can produce really negative results, even though they have the same start point? So instead of feeling good or neutral, why do I feel bad? Or how come other people feel bad in the situation, but I actually don't? So all of that comes into this attitude of curiosity. So we also have a willingness to experiment. Now, the willingness to experiment. Now, what most people actually do here, and it's not actually the right way to go about it. So I'm telling you how not to do it. So what people do is they go into, for example, a new job. And, okay, I'm going to change absolutely everything. I've got a better idea. I think we should do it this way, not that way. Now, here's how experimentation actually works. In order to do correct experimentation, first of all, you need to master what already exists. So you perfect whatever already exists. So in terms of NLP, you replicate the model that works exactly as it's implemented, exactly, precisely, without any change. When you're as good as the expert is, then you can experiment with other stuff, but not until then. So coming back to the past, to NLP, the willingness, and that's about what's happening around you. The thinking around, well, what would happen if I did this instead of that? What if I use my mind in this particular way instead of that way? Will it change the results that I get? So it's a combination of curiosity and a willingness to experiment. Now, aside from that, and the genius of NLP is that it's a methodology based on modeling. So this is particular to NLP. So what are the first techniques that we learn when we teach practitioner training is we learn sensory acuity, then we learn rapport. Now, rapport hasn't come about as a result of NLP. Rapport has been about ever since there were people on the planet. So let's be real about this. So what NLP actually gave us is the how to. So The question is, how do we do rapport? So in NLP, what they did was they broke it down into a series of steps through the process of nominalization. So what NLP does is it denominalizes. So it turns something which is quite abstract into a series of steps. So it turns a concept into a process. And that is the beauty of NLP. So we do it through a series of steps, through a process, so that we can achieve consistent results through the process of modeling. Now, strategies are not particular to NLP. They come from something else, and it's a theory. So what NLP did was they asked, how? The question how. How do you elicit strategies? How do you install strategies? How do you actually change strategies? If all of this is possible in theory, then how do we actually do it? So again, it was turned into a series of steps. So all they did was they turned the process, the theory, into a series of steps which created a process. So they brought together a whole lot of different things from different fields, from transformational grammar, from psychology, from behavioral psychology. And what they did was they put it all together and unpacked it into a series of steps. That's all that NLP is. So the other thing that NLP is continual experimentation. So it's kind of like the parallel between attitude and a willingness to experiment, which is the continual experimentation. So we need to give up the idea that the human mind is a closed system. The human mind is actually an open system. So if we start thinking that there's going to be an end point at any stage, the neurology that we actually have, as far as we know so far, is 10 to the 10 to the 11. So that's 10 followed by another 10 zeros. It's more neurological connections than there are stars in the sky or grains of sand on all of the beaches on the earth. That's how much of our neurology is capable of doing, certainly not how much we actually use. So the result of NLP is simply a trail of techniques. So they're the techniques that we teach in NLP. So all of that packaged together is actually what we call NLP. So I hope that you found that really useful and informative. Now, feel free to contact us at any time. We're really happy to have a conversation with anyone at any time. So you can contact us directly through all of our social media or on our website. And I absolutely encourage you to question, what is it that's happening up here? And what can I do about it to actually get the results that I want? So have a brilliant, brilliant day. And we look forward to chatting to you and supporting you on your journey really, really soon. Bye now.